Welcome back to the Step It Up Entrepreneur Podcast. Your host, Tomas Keenan, coming at you guys today from the home office. This is another solo episode, and we've been ripping these now. This is the second week in a row. Had some life going on right now, and just really haven't been able to dedicate the time to get some guests on like I normally do. Got a couple of them in the pipeline, and over the next few weeks, you'll see some more people come through like normal, that your normally scheduled production of the show. But had some cool experiences this past week and wanted to kind of drop in here and kind of explain it to you guys, talk to you a little bit about it, and remind you some stuff that's coming up here in a couple of weeks. It's next week already. My mom came into Dallas this past Tuesday. So actually a week ago today, my mom flew in from Dallas, from New York to Dallas. I'm born and raised in Long Island, New York. If you guys haven't figured that out by now, spent 40 years there and, moved down here a couple of years ago. And full transparency, like my mom and I love her to death. She's always been great to me. But at the same point in time, we've always had some form of friction in our relationship. And, over the past year, me going through a divorce and her not really understanding why and us not really communicating effectively and well. And that's, it's her fault. It's also mine. I'm just as much to blame there for sure. And basically I tell you this because it strained our relationship, and it strained our relationship so much that we went several weeks, if not several months, without any form of communication. And it's not something I'm proud of. I'm sure she's not proud of it either, but it finally got to a point where she reached out to me and I answered her call and we sat down, and it really wasn't the ideal time for me to have a conversation with her, to be quite honest with you. I was at one of my offices at the time, had a lot of things going on, and said, you know what, this call came through right now for a reason, and I took it and wound up spending over an hour on the call with her, and she FaceTimed me, just to be clear. So wound up spending over an hour on a call with her, and we had some difficult talk and conversation at that point, and it got close to getting to that point where it was heated and irreparable. But luckily and fortunately, we both got past that, heard each other's side and kind of reconciled things. And I'm grateful for that, to be honest with you. Because my mom she's done a lot for me over the course of years and my life and whatnot. And I put a Facebook post up the other day, the day that she left. I wouldn't be who I am or where I am as a human being, as a father, as a leader, as, whatever term title you want to put on me or my name. I wouldn't be where I am today without her. That's a fact. And I'm just grateful for all that she's done for me. And I'm sure she's done a lot more for me than I'm even aware of. And if you're listening to this, Mom, I just want to say thank you. So, Mom stayed here until Sunday. I got to drive her to the airport this past Sunday. She flew home. She flew back to New York. She came in solo. This is her first trip coming into Dallas solo. My mom's had a lot of surgery over the last couple of years. She's had hip replacement. She's had 4 or 5 back surgeries. She's had neck surgery. And it's, listen, just full transparency. It's put a beating on her from a physical standpoint. She doesn't have the same mobility that she once did with all the rods and screws and fusions that she's got going on. But it beats the alternative. The alternative was her not being able to walk at all, or being paralyzed, or being in a wheelchair of some sort. So as limited as her mobility is now, it was the right thing for her to go through that surgery, and even though it slowed her down. But I tell you all this because I'm sure I'm not the only one who's dealt with some dicey relationships, whether being friends, family, loved ones, brothers, sisters, all that kind of crap. And if you find yourself in that situation, you really should take some time and reach out, be the bigger person, have the conversation. I'm grateful that we did have the conversation. I'm grateful that she did opt to come down here and spend some time with me and Catherine and all the kids. And for those of you who are listening, between Catherine and myself, we got 7 kids. So it was good for her to experience it, see what life is like, outside of the past relationships that I've had that my mom was involved in, and her to come into the house here and spend some good time with us was just good. And I'm really grateful for it. So, all right, enough about me on the personal side of the house. If you guys haven't signed up yet for the hiring webinar, head over to events.stepitupacademy. Events.stepitupacademy.com/webinar. You can RSVP or register for the hiring webinar. It's going to be April 24th, 6:30 p.m. Central. We're going to spend an hour and a half, 2 hours or so, basically diving in really deep and showing you how to hire properly, professionally, how to build systems and processes around hiring. It's one of the biggest pain points that I've personally faced myself, and this is something that's going to really help you out. I even have existing clients coming onto this who've been through some of my hiring trainings I've done already. They want to brush up on their skills or get better at it, which I think is a really smart thing. And one of the things that we're doing here, and a lot of people who host webinars don't do this, is anyone who registers, whether you show up to the webinar or not, I'm going to email out the recording the day or maybe 2 days after we host that webinar. So even if you can't make it during that time, get signed up. Get registered, because we're going to send out this content to you afterwards. And I'm not taking it down. I'm not hiding it. So it'll be available to you, whether you dive into it a day or a month later, you'll still have access to that training. So it's definitely something I want to ensure that you guys have access to. This week coming up. So today, right now, is Tuesday. I'm recording this. You're probably going to hear this Wednesday morning. That's when it'll go live on the podcast platforms. This Thursday, I get my butt onto a plane, and Catherine and I get to fly out. And for those of you who aren't who Catherine is, she's my woman. She's my significant other. We'll call it that. We are heading out to Nashville, Tennessee. Side note here, in my 44 years of being on the planet, I have never spent time in Nashville. I drove through it once, but never got to spend any real time there. So I'm really excited to go down to Nashville. I love music. I love country music. And I'm going down there for Knowledge Fest, which is hosted by the MEA, the Mobile Electronics Association. It's an association I've been involved with now for several years. A really long time, to be honest with you. The MEA is basically the organization that runs the 12-volt industry, or the car stereo mobile electronics industry. And for those of you longtime listeners, and maybe even new folks who've been here a bit, I spent 20 plus years in a career inside the car audio industry. I was a custom car audio installer for many years, and I still love the industry. It's where I got my start, and I always want to give back as much as I can, because I understand some of the struggles and the pain points and the issues that these guys are facing and go through. And any way that I can get back into a room there and help those dudes, especially those dudes and those women in that industry, if I can help them succeed in business, I'm going to go do it. So they invite me out 4 times a year. I get to fly out to all their different events. This one happens to be in Nashville for the first time, which is really cool. And get to go to Nashville and get in front of a room full of people and talk about some of my experiences and it's a classroom style training. So I got an hour and 20 minutes to present to a room full of people. And the topic that I'm covering is basically business growth and some of the ethics that are behind the business growth. I'm telling you all this because it's not my first time doing this for the MEA. It's not my first time speaking at Knowledge Fest. Matter of fact, I've been speaking at Knowledge Fest events since August of 2019, right after my book was launched, my book on Fuck Your Business. So what I am doing different this round is this, okay? And anyone here who's listening, who maybe you're thinking about getting into public speaking, maybe you're doing public speaking now, if we are speaking from stage, we have people's undivided attention when we're in that room, we're in that elevated position. And I'm not saying that from a cocky perspective either, right? It's an authoritative position when we get to speak from stage or the front of the room. With that being said, you need to take advantage of your time spent in that space. So what I did here is I built my presentation that I have, which has got a couple of slides to basically show some of the things that I'm talking about during the talk, during the training. But I've incorporated, I've used my marketing skills, my sales techniques. I've my nerdiness when it comes to software and implementation and in building out systems and processes, because like that's my jam at the end of the day. You guys who know me and follow me, I'm a big, huge fan of High Level, which is the CRM that I run. And I leverage High Level in conjunct with Canva. I like using Canva for all of my slideshows, simple graphics. I'm not a graphic designer by no stretch of the imagination. I'll never claim to be one. But when it comes to building out a slideshow, I think it's the easiest platform to use. Easier than Google Slides, easier than PowerPoint. And I've used all of them in the past. So I build my stuff in there, and it allows me to integrate QR codes and do some really cool crafty things. So I have this slideshow set up, and I want to talk to you guys today a little bit about the importance of collecting data. All right. So when I'm at this event and I'm speaking from stage, I get 4 or 5 or 6 slides in, and a QR code is going to pop up on the screen, and it's going to say, and for those of you who are speakers, you get this a lot. It's like I get people who bombard me and rush me after the talk. They're like, hey, that's awesome. Can I get a copy of those slides? Yes. And I got to collect their information manually. And then hopefully later I go and I remember to do it. So let's go build a system for this. Like, I'm the operations, the systems dude. Let's go build a system for this that's going to allow me to capture a lead, and it's going to allow me to communicate and deliver the information that they're requesting, but also follow up with them post event. So this is what I did. I went and built a QR code. When they scan that QR code, it opens up the text messaging app on their phone. And it also autofills a phrase, a word that I program in. So for this one, it's going to be text slides to my business phone number. And if you guys want to check this out yourselves, you definitely can do so. Let me read off the business phone number to you. I probably should know this at this point in my life, but I don't. Okay. So the business phone number is 469-507-3700. Once again, 469-507-3700. If you text slides to the SLIDES slides, you text slides to that number, this automation will kick off and you will get to see it working in real time. So you text slides, it's going to basically say, hey, what's up, man? How you doing? Do me a favor, give me your first name. You reply back with your first name. It's going to then reply back to you and say, awesome, John, thanks for reaching out. Do me a favor and give me your email so we can send off the PDF of these slides to your inbox. You reply back with your email. The system grabs it. It updates your contact record in my CRM, which is high level. And a couple minutes later, you're going to have an email in your inbox with a PDF of the slideshow that I'm using for this event. So this is a great lead capture process that I've built, and allows me to communicate with people from stage, or at least have my tool, my software, if you want to call it my bot, communicating while I'm speaking from stage. Right. So as I'm speaking, I'm collecting leads that may turn into sales or close sales in the near future. From there, the system is also sending out a follow-up email. And I was having my conversation today with my level 1, my group coaching call clients here at Step It Up Academy. And all the events and all the conferences and stuff that I've done, I like to build lead capture systems for business cards and stuff. And I'll talk about that here in a second. But when it comes to following up with people from events, you don't want to hit them while they're still at the event. And you also don't want to hit them the day that they get home. So this event, people arrive Thursday. It ends Sunday. Most people are flying or driving home on Sunday, which means they're back in the office Monday morning, Monday afternoon. And if you're a business owner, or shit, you don't have to be a business owner. Anyone who's in business knows you take a couple of days off and you come back to the office, it's complete fucking pandemonium for a day or two. And so you get your bearings and you kind of catch up. So if I send someone a message on Monday, a follow-up message, the chances of them opening it and reading it and taking a look at it are slim to none. Let's just be real. So the system has an automation set up where it's not going to reach back out to them until Tuesday or Wednesday after the event. So if they get home Monday, this thing isn't going to hit them until Tuesday or Wednesday, right? And this follow-up email that goes out to them is like, hey, it's Thomas from Step It Up Academy. Thanks for grabbing my slides and attending my class. I'm just reading this off to you, like kind of off the top of my head. This isn't exactly what it says, but it's close enough, right? It's Thomas, Step It Up Academy. You attended my class on, enter the class title name, hiring or whatever it was, business ethics and scaling and growth. It's really nice to meet you. I want to make sure that you got the PDF that I sent over a couple days ago. If you haven't, reply to this email. If not, if you read and looked over the PDF and you want more information, or you want to talk to us about coming in and working with Step It Up Academy, click this link here and book a call on my calendar. Book a discovery call. Right? These are all systems and processes that we built on the back end here at Step It Up Academy, so we can grab these leads, we can put them through a process, we can continue to follow up with them, and this is what really brings the whole marketing and sales process together. So I wanted to share that with you guys here, but I also wanted to share one other small little quick thing. And if you guys wanted to, you can always reach out to me. Just that phone number that I gave you a couple minutes ago, send a text to it. That will hit me in my work SMS, which also goes right to my cell phone, by the way. If you guys want to see more of this, I would be more than happy to show you and give you a demo of what it looks like and how you can roll this out and implement it in your own public speaking engagement, speeches, that kind of stuff. The other thing here that I do, which is very similar, is you go to a lot of events, you speak to people, and you get people handing you business cards over and over and over again, right? I like to build a form, right? Inside a high level, I'll build a form. So when I capture these business cards from people, I sit down a couple of minutes later, an hour later at the hotel room, and I will take those business cards one by one, and I will manually enter the information into the contact form. When I enter this information into the contact form, it sends off an automation. It puts them into a workflow that says, and it doesn't do anything, doesn't send them any communications yet, it just adds them to the CRM. So they're added as a contact. But once again, we're following up with them Tuesday or Wednesday after the event. So we're not bombarding them on Monday. We're sending them a quick email or text. Hey, it's Thomas. We met at Knowledge Fest. I was the guy wearing the red, the blue, the black shirt, whatever you want to call it. It was great to meet you. Here's my contact information in case you lost it or you got rid of my card. I don't use business cards, by the way. Here's my contact information. And if you'd like to hop on a call to discuss anything further, here's a link to book a call on my calendar, right? So these are just some really quick, simple follow-up things that we can do and we can build out. And I don't really care what CRM or what platform you're using. As long as you have some form of automation tool built in there, you can build this kind of stuff. And these are things that have been just super helpful to me over time and just adding contacts to the CRM when you go to these events. If you go prepared, if you go with a plan, you go with an understanding of what you want to accomplish while you're there, you'll get a lot more out of the event or the conference that you go into than if you didn't. So with that being said, I know this is a quick, short episode here again today, but I wanted to come in, wanted to drop some information over to you guys, wanted to give you guys and arm you with a little bit more of the operations, the software, the marketing skills that I've developed over the years and kind of just open up my brain a little bit and show you guys what I got going on there. So I hope this helps. If you guys want more content like this, I'll be more than happy to share it with you. I do a lot of content like this over at the Integrator Talk with Integrator Pros Facebook group. You guys can head over there as well. Just go search it on a good old Facebook or message me again on that number I gave you a couple minutes ago and I'd be more than happy to send you the link. All right. If you guys enjoyed this, like it, subscribe it, the whole spiel that everyone gives here at the end of the podcast. And if you're interested in possibly working with us at Step It Up Academy, we got lots of cool stuff to offer. We've got group coaching. We got one-to-one coaching. We've got fractional COO work that we do for a select few clients. We are doing on-site assessments as well. So if these are things that may be of interest to you, you're looking to take your business to the next level, you're looking to step it up, feel free to reach out. Like I said, hit that number I hit you with before. You'd always reach out to me on the good old Facebook. The best place you can go to find me, which you'll have access to all of my stuff, is connectwiththomas.com. You'll find me all over the internet there. And you can always send me an email, thomas@stepitupacademy.com. I hope this helps. Have a great day.
Thank you for tuning in to the Step It Up Entrepreneur Podcast. Make sure you head over to stepitupentrepreneur.com and make sure you subscribe so you never miss an episode of the Step It Up Entrepreneur Podcast.